Alright, so today's kind of a big day today. I think we've talked about a couple of times in the past. There's a couple of leaky, or 3 out of 4 of the roof hatches on this boat leak. One of them leaks quite severely, and the other one of them leaks very minor, and one of them sort of in the middle. The one that's in the middle also happens to leak directly onto Aria's bedroom, directly onto the V-berth, cushions and bed. It is looking like there's a chance that it might rain 2-3 days from now. So I am going to try and get Aria's done so that her bedroom is safe and sound from the rain. So, as far as I understand, the process is to, I'm going to use a razor knife to cut the Lexan sheet out of the frame and work on removing that. And then after I've done that, then I'll remove the frame from the boat. I noticed that there looks like there's a teak trim piece underneath. There's also a teak collar down the hole, and that turns into a flanged teak trim piece on the inside. I'm really hoping that all of that's not all one piece. It's a little hard to tell. You can't really tell from it until I start pulling it apart. So I'm really hoping it's not all one piece, because that would complicate things rather significantly for the disassembly part. So let's go get to it. Hi there, I'm Matt, and this is my wife Kim and our daughter Aria, and we have decided to become live-aboard sailors. I know, we're nuts, but we think we're in good hands.
Steer the boat to starboard!
Alright, so one of the things I did in prep for this mission is I put a big old sheet of plastic in her V-berth here to try and catch any debris and crap and corruption that's going to fall out of here. This looks like it's coming up relatively easily. I suspect that this is either Dow 795 or possibly Sika. It seemingly has a pretty good integrity still, but obviously there's a few places here where I haven't even cut into it with the knife yet, and you can clearly see a seam between the metal frame and the sealant. Not so much between the Lexan or polycarbonate and the sealant, but between the aluminum and the sealant, there's multiple places where it's very clear to me that the seal is no longer any good.
So you're cutting out this, like around this piece of glass?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm cutting inside right against the Lexan and outside right against the aluminum.
Okay.
And taking that, so after I've cut both sides, then the only thing that's holding the lens down should be like the very bottom, essentially. Like underneath a portion of this, there should be some caulking about yay wide. Right. And that's the only thing that'll be holding it in. But it's also like nicely held in place right now, so I'm trying to use it being nicely held in place right now to help clean up some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
And you're hoping that that's what's leaking.
Yeah, I probably will. I'm gonna do this first.
Rebed the glass, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this might need to come up.
And then you take these screws out. But on hers, because of where it was leaking that rain day that I was here,
yeah,
I suspect that I need to do both. So I'm sort of prepping myself to do both.
Okay, but not today. Today is just the glass.
Once the glass is out, then a really big part of the job essentially is the cleanup. That's why I'm trying to do
You have
as
everything?
much cleanup as I can right now. Do I what?
You have the caulking?
Yeah, I found 2 tubes of
that's
Dow 795, which is what you want to use on this anyway.
Thank you, previous boat owner.
Exactly. Alright, so this looks like this is coming up relatively well. It would have helped if I locked the hatch when I was down there, but I forgot. There we go. Just like that. It's out. So, now the cleanup begins. Obviously you can see this big gob of sealant. Not wildly well adhered to that. Alright, got all that done. Now it is time to move on to the frame, getting all the goop off of there, and then, yeah, we'll go from there. Okie dokie. How much sealant is too much sealant?
Tell me, sir. Carping gun's right there.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Okay, you got it? Okay. Good job. I want to see what you're about to do. Oh, that's it?
That's it.
That's the only pressure you apply?
Yeah.
That seems crazy.
Okay, so the idea is that we're banking on that first seal to be the seal. But then tomorrow, that gives us an opportunity to mask this surface, mask this surface wherever we want for width-wise, typically right to the edge.
Right.
And then you use, like, cut it quite fine, so you squish, like, use the tip on the angle where you're like actually squishing it down into the gap as you go, and you want it to sort of dome up. And then you go around with your finger, wipe until along those edges you can see the masking tape, and once you can see the masking tape, then that means that the caulking layer is super thin. So once you get all that done, then you start peeling the masking back and it leaves just the
Nice. Perfect.
and then and by doing it that way you get like a double seal, because right now if you're masking and whatever else and moving it around and all that kind of stuff, you could potentially break this first seal. Well, and that is that. Hopefully that hatch is sealed, and we'll see if it holds the water on the outside. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you there for now. I'm gonna clean up a few tools, and then I am in desperate need of a shower. Alright, so I can't remember if I mentioned or not, but we were actually given a free dinghy here at the marina. It is not in very nice shape. Needs a bunch of glue work and otherwise, but it is potentially doable. The guy that owns it said that it held air pretty much most of the summer, but it's a little low on the air now, and it's in pretty rough shape and otherwise. So I want to get some air into it. We met a really nice couple. I'm not sure we got them on film at all last weekend. They had a daughter around about Aria's age, and I don't know, I assumed like about a 14-year-old son or something like that. Anyway, Paul is back today doing some work on their boat, and he loaned me their pump to pump up the dinghy. So thank you, Paul. There we are. So this is her. Looks a little better now that it's all dried out and the green scummy water's gone. But it's definitely, in need of some repair. Some of this stuff is coming off here, the other side. But I think it's in relatively alright shape. This is our friend's boat here behind me. That's the guy that lent me the pump right there. That's their Jeanneau, I think he said it's a Sun Odyssey 50. Beautiful boat as I run into it. Beautiful boat and beautiful people. Thank you for loaning me the pump, Paul. Appreciate it. Well, hello there. Do you have a life jacket? It's my maiden voyage of our new vessel.